Hey.
Hello.
Hey. How you doing?
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Unexpected. You're getting me.
Where's
Haleigh?
Yeah, you're getting me. We have no idea where Haleigh is.
Oh,
Bless her.
We don't know if she forgot. We don't know if something happened. Hopefully she's okay.
Hopefully she's good.
But it's been a while since I've done an interview. I have to be honest. Like, it's been a while since I've done Through the Lens. It's been a while since I've done crime documentary. So
Yep.
I'm a little out of sync.
That sorts.
I have to be honest.
So we've got Marley here. So
The dog's here.
Marley's making an appearance here.
Okay.
Everyone can see Marley. There he is.
Yes. Yes. Marley.
Yeah.
That's it's like the movie.
We're molded
right?
around him.
Is it Marley, the dog?
Marley. Yeah.
Is that where you got the name from?
No, he was a rescue dog.
So his name was already Marley?
He was already Marley, yeah.
Okay.
He would have been a Max, though, because of his kennel club name was Maximus Gemini Platinum.
Okay.
He was a gladiator. But no, we stayed
So
with
I'm going to
Marley.
put this up right now. I don't normally say this, but this is all Haleigh stuff. So at the end of the video, you did see Health Empowers You. That is our sponsor for this show. So if you are interested, right now, they only have the smoothie recipes up there. So you get a PDF file in your email address and you get over 200 healthy smoothies. And what's coming down the road is teas and coffees soon. That will be coming on down the road. So go over and check healthempowersyou.net and pick yourself up the smoothie recipes. And you will see in the ticker right now, if you do that, you can get a discount on that PDF file by using Frankie05, and you will get a 5% discount on that PDF file, I guess. That's what it is. It's a PDF file. So as soon as you purchase it, it comes right to your email, and you have 200 healthy smoothies that you can choose from. A lot of them are for brain function, weight loss, immune boosting, and obviously post-workout as well. And I believe there's even a few in there that you can have that are going to help you sleep.
Okay.
So there's
I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah,
I do.
don't. But there's all types of smoothies in there, so go check those out. So
Nice.
I would be, and I wanted to talk to you before the show about this. Obviously, there's been very sad news in your life recently, and and I am very, very sorry for your loss. And but I know when you had the day of the funeral, it was more of a celebration.
Definitely.
And that was good to hear, because I've been to lots of funerals where it's very, 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 very dreary. And you walk in the room and you can hear a pin drop, and but yours, tell us about what happened for you guys. And obviously when I'm talking about this right now, this was Emma's husband, Rosie's father, Emma's husband that passed away unexpectedly, I guess. You can kind of and again, from the bottom of my heart, I am so sorry for your loss. And I got to talk to him a few times online.
Yeah, he was always around somewhere.
He was always around. He seemed like a really, really down to earth kind of guy. Why don't you talk? What's that?
He's with us.
Okay. Oh, there you go. So
we're seeing lots of white feathers.
Well, that's cool. That's very cool.
This was in the middle of the living room.
So
for no reason.
Now he knows what's going on in the afterworld, because that's what we do when we go out on paranormal investigations, to figure out what's going on. But why don't you talk a little bit about him first, and then tell us what happened on the actual day of your celebration of his life.
Who was, as they actually said, it is celebration of life. He was determined, willful, always said what he thought. He was stubborn.
Very stubborn.
Always liked proving people wrong. But there was never any in between with him. It was black or it was white. And that was...
And a fun character.
Yeah, his witty one-liners. And even as we said on the day, our marriage really was based upon saying... Haleigh, you look different.
Only Raymond.
We literally used to take the mickey out of each other all day, every day. And that's why we were married for nearly 32 years. It's, and that's what made it work.
Yeah.
Wow, great.
But yeah, we, like we say, it was sudden. He had been ill, but it certainly wasn't on the cards.
No.
We... avid supporters of Southampton Football Club, and rather unfortunately, I think that his stepmom passed away last year. We'd sold the bungalow, and his inheritance hit the bank account the day that he went into hospital, and he never got to spend a penny of it.
Wow.
He went into 2 medical comas. And when it came to it, I thought, you know what? I'm going to hire the football stadium. I don't care.
Southampton Football Club.
You never got to spend the money on yourself, so I'm going to spend it for you, on you.
Yeah.
And you know what? They went over and above.
Yeah.
They helped us so much. Everything was wonderful.
The
food was fantastic. And then we get in there, and they'd done a new season shirt, all done in a presentation pack with his name.
Oh, very cool.
And everything.
Yeah.
Which is something we certainly were not expecting.
And it's a card signed by our manager as well.
By the team manager. And then we got to do a little tour of the stadium. And there were signs. He was with us. We walked out onto the pitch.
From the dugout where the players would walk out.
And where the manager stood.
Our manager.
There was a white feather there.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
So what was it about? What was it about feathers that what's the story to that? What's the story?
We always see a lot of white feathers, or we think it's something spiritual. There's somebody around protecting us.
Okay.
And when he went into the second coma, a couple of days before he actually passed, we were walking Marley.
Day he went into that second one.
We saw these 2 white feathers on the floor, but they were like joined, and they looked like angel wings. And we actually sort of just threw a look at each other, and then a couple of days later we're like, was that a sign? We don't know. It's he'd have been really miffed of where he passed away. It was in Portsmouth Hospital. There is a
football rivalry
Southampton between Southampton and Portsmouth. He'd have been really miffed with that. But yeah, we just wanted to celebrate his life, and we had a few 80s songs in there. Yeah, it was.
So you talked a little bit about the inheritance. Now I thought of this question when you said that, because he never got to spend any of the money. Was there anything that he said he wanted to do? And if he did, is that something that you two are going to do for him?
Probably.
You've already started some things, like the grandchildren.
Yeah, I mean, although he didn't know he was going to pass away at the time, he said once he got his money, he wanted to buy the 2 grandchildren some Switch machines, Nintendo Switches. So we've done all of that. But his dream was always to get a camper van, me give up work, and we just get in it and drive down to Fuerteventura in the Canary Islands.
Nice.
Obviously that didn't happen. However, we have said that we might get a camper van, because when we go out and do our investigations, it means we can always park up somewhere and stay overnight.
And we're going to call it the Ghoul Gang.
But you can go to but you two can go to the Canary Islands.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah.
Oh, we'll be going back next year. We're going to take a little bit of him with us.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
and that,
away from home.
I have to be honest, that question came up because maybe it was something, I don't know, it was weird. It just popped into my head.
Yeah.
And maybe it was something that was popped into my head to ask you, so he could hear that you both were actually going to be doing that. And it's weird, because that also, I never thought of anything like that, and all of a sudden it just popped into my head. Like it was almost like a voice was talking to my head, going, ask him that question, ask him that question.
It's funny you should say it, because in reflection on his celebration of life, we've got a bit of a weird story to tell. About 2 weeks before, because obviously we had a 4-week period in between everything, and I was wrestling with a piece of music that I wanted to play, whether it was appropriate to play. And anyway, sort of, we'd made the decision, and it was called "When the Saints Go Marching In."
That's a Southampton,
because it's a Southampton football club song.
Okay.
And I thought, is that right for a funeral? Anyway, one morning I wake up about 6:20, open my phone, and there's this photograph on there that it's not a group that we follow.
We've not even heard.
Never heard of them before,
which we've now followed.
Yeah,
so
we'll send you the photo.
Okay.
And it was Paul behind. It was the image of him before he was ill, behind these like French doors, double doors.
I can bring the picture up.
Anyway, so it sort of threw me a bit in that time of the morning. Didn't mention it to Rosie because we work together, and I thought, I don't know how she's going to react. And I showed my colleague at work, because he's sort of the voice of reason, and if he thought I was clasping at something, he'd say. And everybody we've shown, that's Paul. That's Paul. Yeah. When did you take that? So I'm like, well, no, we didn't. Anyway, so going back to the piece of music, when I Googled it about funerals, and it is a New Orleans funeral march.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, that's brilliant to play.
We'll take that as a sign to play it. Yeah.
So when this photo came up the next morning, I then found out it had been taken in New Orleans.
And it's the New Orleans funeral song.
Yeah.
So I can show you the
picture.
And
I don't know if that was a sign, because I'd been wrestling with it, because I didn't know if it was appropriate,
or whether to have it at the beginning
or the end, or
because we already had the music in the middle to ready to go.
But everybody we've told the story to, we've showed them the photo, and then as soon as we say the photo was taken in New Orleans, according to who put it on, you can see the hair on people's arms stand up and the goosebumps.
Yeah. It's the thing is we don't know if it was Dad. We don't know when this photo was taken.
No.
But I can show you guys. I can obviously, this is a screenshot of. So obviously, person stood there, but it really looks like my dad.
Yeah.
Stood there as in his younger days.
Yeah.
It's so. Yeah, we have contacted the lady, and I think we're going to contact her again because we don't want to frighten her off and thinking we're trying to dismiss the photo.
Yeah,
we don't know nothing about the photo other than
we just wanted to sort of know when it was taken,
was
or
it recent?
If it was 2 years ago, why pop up on that day? Or and I think Paul knows me well enough that if he sort of presented himself there to me, I would run a mile. The big girl pants would be gone. Maybe that would be a sign. I don't know. That
he knows what he needs to do that side.
And when we went to see him at the Chapel of Rest, we were talking to him and we were telling him that we were going to the football stadium and the lights started flickering.
Yeah.
So we took that as a sign
it flickered when you held his hand in the Chapel of Rest. And when I stroked his forehead and his hair. And then we laid photos across him.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Everyone that is connected with him.
Yeah.
And then his brother went in to see him and the light flickered for him once, a couple of times as well, but nobody else got the light flicker.
No.
So
maybe it's time to get an SB7 out and see if your father and your husband will communicate through the SB7. It would be interesting. It would be interesting.
This is the first thing that we've done in the paranormal world. I know it's only a podcast, but we're talking about the paranormal side. This is the first thing we've done
in a few weeks
since.
Well, he went into hospital on the 20th of June.
That's why we've been quiet for quite a while.
It's understandable.
So this is first thing back for us.
So
it's understandable. It's understandable.
But no, he's definitely around.
Yeah. Well, from the little time that I spoke to him, the few times that I spoke to him, he seemed like he seemed like he had a very outgoing personality.
Yes.
And he seemed like he would be a guy that you'd want to sit down and have a beer with because he was super, super funny and you'd be laughing through everything. And
he would
also maybe sitting down for sitting down for a sporting event and just, enjoying a football game,
When we take our grandson Dexter to football, the first time we took him, we said, what you hear at football stays at football.
Yeah.
And he's always been really, really good. And he's always like, Granddad said a rude word. He's like, but it stays there.
I got the impression there wasn't much of a filter there.
No,
there was no filter.
No filter.
No.
But
if you think we're bad, he was bad.
Again, and when you told me that the funeral is coming up on the Thursday, and it was not a funeral, it was a celebration.
Yes.
I obviously we've been talking, and I know what's been going on and stuff like that. And when you told me because I'll be honest, like, if I know something's happening and something's coming up, the first thing I think of is, the loved ones that are close, and I feel absolutely horrible for them. But when you told me that it's a celebration, I knew you both were going to be okay.
Yeah.
And because obviously I was concerned and I was worried. And
good 80s music during it as well. So
But when Rosie told me that it was going to be a celebration, I go, okay, these two are going to be okay.
Yeah.
And that made me feel better. Me feel better. And
he didn't do black, he didn't do suits, and he didn't do conventional. So
it was
why change the habit of a lifetime?
Exactly.
Everyone wore a Saint shirt, whatever color Saint shirt, mainly red and white. And then there was bright colors as well. So you had like some oranges in there, and but there was a lot of red and white because that's the Southampton colors.
And his favorite game was Buckaroo. I don't know if you've got that over there.
No, I've never heard of that game.
It's like a plastic donkey or horse, and you sort of click it down, and then you have to put little plastic toys on it, and every now and then it'll buck.
And the toys
fly everywhere. And that was his favorite game. So we had lots of buckaroos set up around the venue for people to play.
Wow.
I can show you there's the little donkey.
There you go.
That's inside.
That's awesome.
But there was one point, one of his brothers and sisters were playing it, and there was a lot more items on there than should have been, including a bottle top and everything. And they're all like, no, it's broken. And next minute, this thing flew.
And everything just went pop.
Wow.
We're like, no, he's holding it down.
Yeah.
That's great. So what we're going to do right now is that we are going to take a commercial break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about the Ghoul Gang and what the Ghoul Gang is about. So we will be back in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Hey, welcome back. And like I will say, Matt did a wonderful job with that.
He's
with that
brilliant,
amazing.
And it's really good. And I will say, Matt does the promos for or the intros for GGH Live. So I want to give him a shout out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. It's brilliant.
He did the intro for you guys today. And
I know,
every time
awesome.
we have a guest on the show, he will be doing an intro for that special guest.
Wow, that's
so
amazing.
Obviously at the end of that commercial, you saw Health Empowers You, which is our sponsor for GGH Live and also for the Global Ghost Hunt. And if you want to, go over and pick up your PDF file for over 200 healthy smoothies. And I will put the special, where is it? Here it goes. So here is the email address. And if you want, you can get a discount on the smoothies and using Frankie05, which gives you 5% off the smoothies. And trust me, they're amazing. They are amazing, and they're over 200 smoothies, so there's a lot of fantastic smoothies. So go on over.
Are there ones without banana in? Because I don't.
Yeah, there's a lot in there without bananas.
Okay.
So, it's weird because the Health Empowers You page, which is doing extremely well, and you can go over and follow it on Facebook. In the comments, you see a lot of the comments, people saying, we don't like bananas. So is there something else that can substitute the banana? So there's always a way to substitute something. So, but anyways, so we are here with Emma and Rosie from the Ghoul Gang. Obviously, they're also part of Global Ghost Hunt. They are the brand ambassadors for the UK. And if you haven't seen their latest promo, go over to Global Ghost Hunt Facebook page, and you will see their latest promo. It's funny. They're wearing their Ghoul Gang shirts, which I thought was great.
It's summer here. So I had to wear the summer juice today.
Yeah.
Too warm today.
You can check out their latest promo if you go over to, like I said, to the Facebook page. And if you can, please share that out and like it. So the more likes, the more shares, the more people are going to see it. And obviously with the Global Ghost Hunt coming up, they are representing the UK. They will be doing an investigation. I'm not sure what they're doing because there was a place that was up in the air. I'm not sure if you're doing that now. Let's not say what it is, but are you doing that place? You are doing it.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And
we've got it.
Your thumbnail will be coming out in September. So it will show what you're doing or where you're investigating.
Yeah. We're like,
and people, I'm telling you right now, you are not going to want to miss this.
Yeah.
Their location.
Yeah.
Our work not know because we can't keep it quiet.
We can't keep secrets.
We can't keep secrets.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to
on this location.
You're gonna have to. I want to keep this a secret. Now, are you doing it on? Were you guys able to get the 19th?
Yes.
Excellent. So what's happening on the 19th? And I will let people know now.
So we just we put it till 2 a.m. over here time.
Okay.
Yeah,
so which means because you guys are 5 hours ahead, because that's what I was trying to figure out. You guys are 5 hours ahead. So we'll have to start at on the eastern, I guess, seaboard, I guess you want to, or this country or North America. We'll have to start at 7 o'clock. So you guys can start at 12.
12, yeah.
And go till, because it will be 2 hours. And what we're going to be doing, people, we are going to be doing an event within the event, which means we will have 3 to 4 different types of investigations going on at once. So you will see from Canada, from the States, and from the UK, and hoping to get a team somewhere else, like hopefully down under, and to get them all going at the same time. And you will be able to see different investigations from across the world going on at the same time. It's going to be
amazing.
It's going to be interesting.
It'll be, it'll be good.
And I will say Haleigh and her brother will be hosting the show.
Nice.
So I don't know if they're going to be on. They're going to be there, but I don't know if they're going to be up. If they're going to be behind the scenes. So they're going to be switching the screens from, Canada, the States, the UK, all at once. Yeah. And so what we'll do is we'll have 3 screens and then 1 big screen, and they'll switch. They'll switch.
Something's happening. Yeah.
Nice.
It's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
I don't think it's ever been done in this kind of magnitude of all over the world.
I had to be a part of it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So for people that don't know the Ghoul Gang, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Ghoul Gang and who you are and what you're about and all those wonderful things.
Well, we're bonkers. We're bonkers.
Well, we're in the paranormal. Anybody that's in the paranormal is bonkers.
Weird and
we're
wonderful.
All weird.
So the Ghoul Gang started
June 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years
2022.
ago. It is just our hobby. So locations that we use over here, we do have to hire. So we have our little team, and then we have some friends that come with us. Because over here you have to hire everything. But one of our favorite locations, as you know, on our Global Ghost Hunt last year in October, we did the Mausoleum, and which is in Bursledon, which is the Grey Ladies. Brian's been there; he knows it all.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
never fails. No. And that night it did not
fail.
There's
still more to give.
Yeah.
Now I have to. Now, sorry to cut you off there. Now, me and Haleigh were talking about this a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
On a show, I believe it. I don't know what show. Yeah, it was Global Ghost Hunt Live. We didn't have a guest show up, which was fine, and so we talked and we showed that video.
Wow.
During that live, so people got to see. Who didn't see it live got to see that part of the video, and it was a question that me and Haleigh talked about, and I'm sure that you both were wondering as well. It was raining. There was a lot of lightning going on, and it was raining hard. So we actually talked about the balls lighting up. Was it possible that the balls were lighting up because the rain was hitting the balls? Did you guys ever think about that?
Yeah, yes. We did. Yeah, but because of how all the trees are there,
all the balls. So how the balls, when we were there was a section where the balls were. We had 3
on the steps.
Up on the steps, and then we said like about walking up the steps, and it came down the steps. It's kind of like they went off on command. So like a 30-second gap, they would then go off in command, and then the 3 going down the steps was like, oh my god. So I don't know if we captured that. And then we had the 2 cat balls on Emmeline Story's grave.
Yes.
And
that was a bit more out in the open.
That was a bit more out in the open.
On the grave rather than the steps.
Yeah. But a lot of the cat balls, how they were going off, it was like this. And I've had it once there before, just not as long. And then it just stopped. So when the Global Ghost Hunt stopped, the live, we were speaking to yourself after for about 5 minutes, and it just stopped. And it was still raining.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and we had umbrellas. One of my spirit box that was left out in the rain, I just dumped it on the chair. Lucky enough it dried out. But and it was still raining, and then it just stopped, and it just went flat. And so there is a possibility.
There is.
I could never say they're paranormal. Just going off with the questions.
But it was interesting because while we were showing those clips, or while we were showing that part of the video, you were asking questions, like you said. You were asking questions, and the cat balls were going off, and they would stop when you asked them to stop, which was really interesting.
It's the annoying part. You can't really explain why.
And obviously the cat balls, when they light up, they only last
so long.
Well, they only last a certain amount of time when they're lighting up. But when you were asking, it's literally like 5 seconds later, and the cat balls go on a lot longer than that. When they're lighting up, and when you were asking the questions. But it was interesting because I don't think there's any way the rain would affect the bear.
No.
And which was lighting up as well.
I've never had the bear go off there. Never. It was actually the only second time that bear's gone off.
It kind of reminded me when that was going on. It kind of reminded me of the 1940s, the 40s T-room.
With all the equipment,
when all the equipment went off at once, and when we had the first Global Ghost Hunt, I put that in the video when the Global Ghost Hunt was being launched, and because I thought it was really, really cool thing. That was a really, really interesting place. And I heard, and I think it was you both that told me, I heard that they moved across the road, and they're no longer there. So I'm kind of curious, do you know what's there now?
We've not been back since.
No, it's maybe somewhere we should speak to Jackie or Betty about Betty, again.
Because she would still have the objects that were inside the old building. She would still have it, and it's set up. They've got the like a bunker inside now, haven't they? That's like a little Anderson shelter. Is like a little picnic table in there.
It would be interesting to find out if the place she's in now is having activity. And the same activity, and maybe it is, because I think that would answer the question of objects being, haunted. And
I remember
not necessarily the object being haunted, but the spirit being with the. See, I've never been a big believer in the fact of an object being haunted. My personal feeling on that is the object's not haunted. What's standing beside it.
Yeah,
because it adores that
It's attached to it.
Yeah, it's attached to it.
Yeah.
So it's actually
Inside
not the object that's haunted. It's the
Yeah.
spirit that's with that object, not necessarily on it or in it. It's beside it. You know, so
But if the object's moved, then hopefully the spirit has moved with them.
Because I remember Lex putting on the it's like a sailor's jacket. I've got the picture of it. It's the dark navy blue sailor jacket. And as soon as he put that on, people started feeling like they were swaying a little bit. Now the floor was uneasy on that second level, but we'd already been up there. And then he put the jacket on, and it was just like you got this motion with it. I remember feeling that. And even when I look at the photo, I can feel that motion if I look at it. I'll send it to you. I think it is.
Agree.
Well,
now, obviously, you guys, you both have been a part of the Global Ghost Hunt as a participant, and now you're with Global Ghost Hunt as the UK ambassadors. I would like to know what does Global Ghost Hunt mean to you? And you both can answer this. You both can answer.
It's sharing experiences with people, and particularly like when we're live as well. When we were at the mausoleum that time, I think it was Abyss Paranormal. They were sending through different questions, and it took us up a completely different route to what we were on.
But it took us up a route that we know is connected.
Yes,
with the gypsy.
It just gave us that little bit of a more push.
The questions that we couldn't think of. So it's teams coming together
Teamwork
around the globe, all becoming one. I know you don't like it, but the paranormal family. And
no, I don't mind the paranormal family.
I'm to see all the other locations and the fantastic job the teams are doing as well.
We have a bucket list in America
jealous.
and Canada.
And what is the place that you want to go to in the States, and what is the place you want to go to in Canada?
Penhurst for me in the States.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Alcatraz.
Oh God, Alcatraz. Oh, how could I forget Alcatraz?
You know,
Salem.
From what I understand is the tour is great. For Alcatraz. And I also believe, and because I think I heard this, the tour is great, but after a certain while from the tour, you can go off on your own. And do a little bit of investigating on yourself. Now, it's not like doing a full investigation, but you know, I have a real problem when a place charges $24,000 for one night. And you know, and it's for me personally, that's all about money. So it's something like $24,000 for one night to investigate that place. And to me, that's crazy. Obviously,
I'd say there's locations over here that are very, very expensive. Because we're non-profit. So it is our own pocket money that goes into it first, and then we sell it to our friends, and we buy our own ticket. So we literally just share the cost between us in the end.
So what would you do for people that are interested in the Global Ghost Hunt and want to be a part of it but are unsure? Maybe you can give a little bit of advice why it's good for them to join and what our purpose is, because it's just not about investigating, and there's many other factors as well. It's about locations too. So what advice would you, Rosie, I'll ask you, what advice would you give to somebody that's on the fence about joining, and coming from your perspective on what you've done so far with the Global Ghost Hunt and what you're going to be doing in the future, obviously, and being the UK ambassadors for the UK. What would be your advice for somebody that's on the fence right now?
So first of all, you've got an amazing team who will back you. They are literally with you 24/7. If you need them, they're there. We have an amazing little group chat that, I don't say little, there's a lot of us in there. But so you have got the backing of Brian, Matt, AJ, Raymond, Haleigh, Glenda's on there, you know, so all these people will help you get to where you want to be. And that's then the next step of you bring, or you know, we call ourselves Little Old Ghoul Gang from the UK, from Southampton. And we see our numbers go up. No, I don't see us down here, but I see us here. I'm not going to be big-headed. But if you want your team to get out there, if you want to have those viewers, if you want to have those likes, this is what's going to help you. This is the platform that's going to help you rise and be noticed and get your locations out there. your favorite locations yourself. One, but be true to yourself. 100%.
But it has also made us look at other places we can go to, other locations.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Emma, what's yours, Emma?
We thought, well, we don't want to go back to the mausoleum again. It's too obvious.
Yeah.
And then we sort of, you'd been to this place last year and it was like, nah. So, we're now thinking like 2 steps ahead of more locations.
We were trying to get it for this year's, for the May one. But we couldn't get that date in time. They couldn't get us until the summer. And then it was like, right, well, so what have you got for October? So we went for the October one. So I was already planning in December what global ghost hunt you're doing, and you get this buzzing feeling.
I got a little surprise for you.
Oh.
Yeah. I've taken over the show.
You've taken over the show?
Yeah, we started 48 minutes ago.
She's like, what?
Yeah. We're on live right now.
Oh my God, listen here,
guys. The show started at 6.
Guess what? I had 6 my time in my brain.
Yeah, that's why I sent you the thumbnail where it said 6 p.m. Eastern.
Bless her.
You guys. I just like quantum bended time in the worst way.
Yeah, and it's funny. I called you twice before 6 o'clock, and I messaged you and I said, "Haleigh, where are you?"
Did I just pull an AJ and not even know it or try?
You did, and we won't spread that out because.
No. Listen, love to AJ, love to y'all, love to the whole fam. Like, y'all, that is totally my bad. I don't even. Guess what? I tell ya. Hi, how you doing, Emma?
Hi. Lovely to meet you.
It's okay. I had it covered.
I know you do, because you're brilliant and an effortless God that you are. You just took over the live, ran with it, know what you're doing. No, he is. Listen, I'm going to say, yes, that is a correct thing to say.
No, it's all good. I had a strange feeling because I even said it before the show. I think she thinks it's at 7 and 6 her time.
Yeah.
I said that. Did I not say that? Yeah. So that's why I called you, but that's okay. You're here. I'm going to stay.
Guess what? I'm dog sitting for my aunt. So my service on my phone is not the same either. So I didn't even get your calls. Like, my phone's probably going to start going off because I just got home and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get out here. Nope. Guess what? And my microphone doesn't want to stay in place either. Y'all, welcome to the hot mess that is my life right now. But hey, the Haleigh or Haleigh made it. You want to know what, Raymond? You're not wrong about that. I want to tell you what, Raymond, where are you at getting up in the 5D and bippity bopping me on the head? Like, you got to start having him be the one to, like, apparently the phone's not enough anymore. We got to have some 5th dimensional assistance to keep me in line.
So and I'll stay up since I've been up for the whole show. You
better stay up and stay here since you've been here for the whole show. And I just can't even right now. Hi, ladies. You're the best for just listen. That you're sitting there and laughing makes you the most beautiful humans on the planet to me right now. That you have enough of a sense of humor to be like, yep, guess what? Girl ADHD, and we've all had it. Apparently, this is it. Yeah.
So I will say, Haleigh, for future
shows, always remember that Brian John is an hour ahead of me.
Yeah, and it's Eastern.
I always remember, like,
I thought, and you know what? I have a funny feeling, or I have a recollection.
Raymond, you better.
Before that, it's always Eastern.
It's always Eastern. It is always Eastern.
Yes, but that's okay. So why don't we do this? I'm
serious to Raymond, so you better start.
We've spoken about we spoke at the beginning of the show, unfortunately, unfortunately in the last week or last couple of weeks, or it's been a little bit longer than that. Emma's husband, Rosie's father, passed away. And we talked about that at the beginning of the show. It wasn't a funeral; it was a celebration.
Yeah.
And for life. And we talked about a little bit about the mausoleum. We talked a little bit about Ghoul Gang, what they're about.
I'm going to ask you an honest question.
Yeah, go. There you go. It's your show.
You're beautiful one. It's not my show right now, is it, Brian? Listen.
That's true. It's kind of
you're beautiful, wonderful, dearly departed, who has obviously have to have a sense of humor to hang out with y'all and also to have a celebration of life and not a funeral. Please do tell me how he would have reacted to my late sauce time zone happenings. Give me a story.
He would have laughed.
Yeah.
And he'd have said, about effing time.
Better late than never, I guess. I'm here. Hi.
And you know the funny thing about that? The funny thing about that, I can picture him saying it while they're on live. I can hear him in the background going, "It's about damn time."
Yeah, because he always watched, and I can tell you now, I've been sat here all evening, and I keep getting this
tickling
on my nose.
Yeah, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Feathers is a big thing. White
literally
feathers.
Mum walked in the other day and there was a white feather in the middle of the living room, not knowing how that got there.
No.
Yeah.
I love
that just appeared.
Yeah.
It's
wow! I didn't know that.
It's where my feet go when I'm sat down. Yeah.
Wow. If you sit on the sofa, your feet will be there.
Yeah.
The dog was on the sofa. And the feather was right there where her feet would be.
But honestly, Haleigh, he'd have been laughing at you.
Yeah.
He'd have been
good. That's my kind of friend. And you want to know what? My dad's on the other side of the veil too, probably being like, "Listen, she gets it from me. That's totally my fault." Like, hey man, I'm sorry. I taught her to be that way.
You know what? Paul was always late, so
you had to tell him. You had to tell him 2 hours before. If you needed to be somewhere at 3, you have to tell him we need to be there at 1. Because you were going to be late.
No, that's 100% my dad. That is like, I tell you, they're besties on the other side right now. They are having like some kind. My dad's having a red beer. What's your man drinking?
Oh God,
Pepsi Max or gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic, Pepsi Max. Yeah. He couldn't drink for the last good 5 to 10 years of his last life. But if anything, it was gin and tonic.
Yeah,
it would be or yours to drink. Parma Violet gin, and
we very rarely drank. And one New Year's Eve, I don't do New Year's Eve really. So it's 7 in the evening, and we got given a bottle of prosecco at work. I thought, we'll have a glass of that, and I'd also brought some violet gin, and I thought, we'll try a bit of that. So I didn't bother with mixers. I just filled a tumbler up with prosecco and then put all this violet gin in it. 10 minutes later, we were absolutely smashed. I came in from the kitchen and he's got sunglasses on and dancing around the living room.
I'm phoning them saying, "So what time did you stop drinking?" They went by 7:10 in the evening. They stopped drinking.
Yeah,
a whole 10 minutes was all it took.
Yeah,
that's my kind of evening. I tell you right there. You just get right to the party. Put those sunglasses on and have a good time.
Yeah,
I am for it.
Yep.
Well, so tell me, and maybe you already talked about it, but what? And Raymond's got a comment here that said that earlier when you were talking about him, he kept hearing, "I'm right effing here." And he posted that at 5:55 p.m. on my time, actually, I want to say. So, like, that's a fun little synchronicity there.
Wow.
Tell me about, because it is really nice, especially for people who have lost loved ones. And I'm with you on that because I have conversations with my dad all the time, right? Like, what are some of the synchronicities? You said white feathers are big, but like, what are some of the other things that like, that's him or even other loved ones that you have?
So Robin's is another one. So Robin's the bird.
Okay.
So when my granddad passed, which was my dad's dad, he died in 2008.
Yeah.
And when he passed, I always saw a male robin. So if I went, I just said, "Hello, granddad." You'll go to like the graves and you'll see a robin hopping past. And it was like, "Hi, granddad." And then the white feathers. But since my dad passed, I've seen a white dove. Never seen her before at the back where we live. I've seen a dragonfly and a butterfly. Every time I go into the garden, they're there. If I look out the window at the garden, they're not there. But when I go outside, they'll appear. So, But the white feathers.
And one of the other things which she always knew, I mean, particularly with you, with numbers, you always see 1111.
My number's 1111.
That's her number. And that's been for a good few years.
A lot of
and
years.
After he'd passed, obviously there's appointments you have to go to and different things. And it was always 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
11 o'clock.
But
so as long as I knew what day it was,
yeah,
I knew it was at 11 o'clock. It was.
And he passed on the 11th.
He passed on the 11th as well.
So I always feel those 11s that I always saw. And I had a reading by Rob Thompson in America. He's an English boy, but he's in America. I had a reading with him, and he explained about the numbers, and he said that there was a fourth person to my numbers because the 111s and 4s connect to it. Obviously being 111, adding up together to be 4. My partner's born on the 4th of June. My granddad, his dad, passed on the 4th of July. And my other granddad, your dad, passed on the 4th of January. And Rob said that there was a fourth one. Now, we didn't know if it was me, but I now believe it's my dad. And he was meant to be the 11th.
Part of the 1111.
Part of the 1111.
Yeah.
How all those spirit numbers connect.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I do start to think about our, sort of multidimensional selves, and that that's something that we, even though our conscious human mind doesn't know it, that we're orchestrating these things throughout our life. And that, right. And that like that 1111 and that sort of portal energy is a very powerful energy. And that maybe to some degree or some extent, maybe there's something really great that he's like popped to the other side to be like, guess what? You have something that you're supposed to do. And you're attached to this really great energy and this portal energy. And I'm going to help you from this side. And I agreed to do it. And he will
know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
He needs to do it. And sorry, do you want to come up? Sorry, we've got the doggy here. So.
You know what? That's just confirmation. The dog comes in and interrupts. That's confirmation.
The dog came before me and my brother. The dog, he didn't really, but we always say the dog came before me and my brother.
You want to know what? Listen, I don't blame anybody for that. I love my dog. Our furry friends are our babies.
He's a big fur baby, this one.
Yeah.
Come on then, let me come.
Now, I will say we're coming up on to the hour. Normally the end of the show. But since Haleigh just got here 10 minutes, are you girls okay for staying a little bit longer and talking to Haleigh? What I will do is I will go down. I'm going to go down.
Are you just going to bebop and run away?
Yeah. And
okay. He's like, whatever, the ladies are talking now, and I'm going to go have a cigar.
Listen, I got an overwhelming feeling that this is ladies' time. And you ladies need to speak. And
whatever you
get to know each other. And,
Brian John's got himself a glass of brandy sitting back there. That's
actually, you want to hear something? You want to hear something that? Well, you probably wouldn't be surprised. I don't drink.
I'm not really surprised by that. But you know what? You go ahead. I get it. Lots of divine feminine energy hanging out here, and you're like, guess what? I'm out. Listen, I understand.
No, but then you got Raymond saying these kind of comments.
What's that? I know what's
to you
up.
Later. Different
Haleigh. How you do? What's up? You know what, Raymond? It's cool. Hey, talk at me in the 5D again. What's up? You know what? He knows.
But I will see you girls after the show, and but Haleigh,
you girls after the show.
Well, it's true.
I love it. Look at he's just gonna bounce. Good. I love it.
I am gonna bounce. I might come up as a surprise.
He'll peekaboo whenever he wants. That's what he does. He'll just
he's gone.
See, and then he'll just peekaboo back in again. That's how he does. Good. You know what, man? I tell you, if it wasn't for Brian John, Brian John and Raymond are gonna have to keep me in line. But now,
brilliant.
Now apparently the ladies get to get out of line. What's your favorite? I'm so excited. And you too. Let me tell you what. Y'all two are adorable. I can't even deal with it how cute you are right now. Look at you. I swear I love your tops. I love that headband.
It's my Gucci.
You are so Gucci right now. I love it. That is you're both just you belong in a IKEA display or something like that.
I would love to live in an IKEA display.
Right? Okay.
We get lost in there.
And a lifetime of meatballs, Swedish meatballs.
Who doesn't want that? That would be the best. Okay, talk to me about this because, like, just for funsies, fun sauce, like, how fun would it be to paranormal investigation in an IKEA or like a Costco or something?
Get your flat pack on.
Right? Like, we're just gonna go snack and, like, come on, you'd be having so much fun that any kind of energies or entities that are like it, they'd be like, okay, usually I'm haunting this church over here, but you guys, they're like sound like they're having a party over there.
We'd get lost.
I'd always get lost. I always cut through where I should have been.
It would be so much fun. Yeah. Like, there's like cat balls on all the furniture, you guys. Like REM pods everywhere.
We need to go and do that in the day.
I think we'd get kicked out.
Please, no, please do.
We actually did it at Bewley National Motor Museum a few years ago. We went.
Dad was there.
And we wanted to hire it out because a program over here from years ago called Most Haunted went there, and it looks really cool.
But your dad grew up
and my dad grew up on the estate, so I had a bit of an attachment.
Very cool.
But they won't allow you to go and do it, so we thought, sod it, we're going for the day and we're taking cat balls.
Yeah, because you can go in through the day. It's a natural history place.
So you put them down.
I put my cat balls down.
My husband's shouting out, Rosie, the cat balls are going.
Oh my gosh. You don't need to announce it. We're not supposed to be doing this right now.
Yes. Some woman come around the corner and was like, I'm like, oh, for God's sake. And this disco's going off behind us.
Listen, I appreciate that energy because just this week I got from my sister 10 minutes into a trip to Target. I can't take you anywhere.
Love it.
And Brian John is in the back, not surprised remotely that you can't take me anywhere because you absolutely can't.
I'm going to IKEA on Sunday now.
Okay.
Yeah. No, for real. Ladies.
We'll do a live.
No, please. For the sake of my entertainment and just for the sake of the entirety of the Parapost fam,
we're gonna do this.
We're gonna go to IKEA.
You guys, cat balls in IKEA with some meatball sandwiches is gonna be the best time.
And you know what? We're going to do this. We're going to promise this for you. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. And please tell me that you're going to call in Dearly Departed and be like, what? Come on. Now, if you were bringing him along, if you were like, seriously, guys, like, what would you
be for the dime bars?
Yeah, the dime bars. Yeah.
Dad would be in the dime bars.
Or I'd tell him I'm taking him out for tea.
Yeah.
To IKEA.
For the Swedish meatballs.
There you go. I love this. This is going to be I can't wait for, can you imagine? The show that you can put, like, you could be doing this everywhere. Start in IKEA and then start going to like other cute little like bakeries or like, you know what I mean?
Me and my partner goes off. We do English heritage over here, and we go with the old folky club on a Tuesday because it's me and my partner's day off.
Grab a granny club.
Grab a granny club, we call it.
Yep.
I love that.
And I'd literally dump a cat ball down wherever I go. It's always one in my bag. And my partner's just there like, oh, for God's sake, not again. And he's just like, I'll just go and walk on. I'll be fine. Just leave me.
Right? Like, fine. Nobody said you had to participate. If you like, I got my own. I have my own friends who are going to show up and bippity bop me with a cat ball.
Exactly. Whether people can't see them, I can.
Right? Excuse me. Okay, no, talk to me
at work.
We do it.
Do you?
Yeah, we work in a doctor's surgery.
Oh, that has to just be going off all the time. Your two energy and in a doctor's, like, tell me what kind of things you're running into.
So we have two locations to our surgeries. The first one, it used to be an old people's home where pretty much where our surgery is, where we're based.
Yeah.
And I could be in a corridor and my big boss is next door to me. And I walked out one day talking to the ladies next to the other side of me. I dipped into their room and they knew when it happens to me, I do kind of like this face, like, and I dip in and I kind of like, I need to shut myself off to it because it's work.
There was
lots of talking going on. And I just saw this man walk out of my boss's room, and how I explained him, one of the ladies may believe it could be one of her ex-husband. So I'm not too sure, but what I explained. And our other location,
the bell.
is a different story. I used to open up that surgery on my own at like 6:45 in the morning. And
so you're getting in there early when it's nice and quiet.
Yeah, first one in. It's an old house, but it's the old toll
house in Southampton.
So you used to have to pay to go across the water. And you used to pay there. And
that's interesting.
There's this bell. There's these 2 sets of stairs to get upstairs, and there's this random bell halfway up. And I heard it go off one day. Now everyone knew I was into the paranormal, and I thought it was one of the nurses. And so I was like, "Oh, Claire's here." Walked down, no Claire, no Sally, no one in the car park. So I'm like, okay,
nope, that's just your friend saying, "Hey, we know you're here."
And this is before I knew the abilities of what I could do.
Yeah.
And
okay, but talk to me a little bit about, again, so like, and people might not necessarily enjoy the phrase divine orchestration, but there's certainly like, you get to the places you get to for a reason. I want to hear more about this location, because being, again, like water as a transmitter and a conductor of energy is something that I'm super into.
Yeah.
But like, so being in this space and working in this space brought out your abilities a little.
Yeah, so I believe obviously working there. So I left.
I think you've always had it there, but being there, I think, has definitely
enhanced it a little bit more. I think I'd become ill when I turned 28. So as people say, when you become ill and you become vulnerable, that's when your abilities will really shine. And then it's never left. So I've kept it going. I've opened up to it. I've accepted it. But being at our location where we work, it does help, because I could walk into a room and there'd just be people nattering along. And I'm like this, I'm just staring into space. And they know when it's happening. And they're like, "Stop, you're freaking me out because I can't see them." I'm like, "Don't worry, they're not interested in you. We're not there to them. They're having their own, they don't even know I'm there, really."
We've even taken some of our friends up to the other site with the bell overnight. And we've actually got it on video with the bell going off as well on its own.
And there's a little girl up there. I always saw her. I don't know why, but the hatch to the loft was in the women's toilet right as you sit down. The lift used to be open, and I'm petrified of spiders. Mum even had to move a spider from the living room because I could
before we went live,
because I couldn't sit here with it in this room.
Well, it's very sweet that you moved it instead of just smushed it.
Mum, she got it in a tissue and she put it outside and it ran off. I watched it run off. That's okay.
Everything, so it was okay. No bad karma. Like, we let it go.
It's not eating me. But I used to look up and I'd be like, "Please don't fall on me, spiders, whilst I'm having a wee." And then I saw this little girl and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." And spoke to the boss and we said about investigating there. So she said, "Just don't tell the receptionist because they'll never work up there again." So
they'll never work up there again.
But other people actually say they
see
the little girl as well in the toilet.
And we've spoken to her on our investigation. She's something bad happened to her. But we've told her that she's safe and in a happy place now, and that she's always got us to talk to whenever she wants to. And she can make herself known to the people that
whoever's
don't know she's there. So
and that's, I think that's something that is valuable in this, like in paranormal investigation and in paranormal communication in general, to have welcoming energy and loving energy, like the energy you have. And that's something I appreciate about your investigations in general. I really do. That you again, and that's something with like, again, and all the folks at Parapost, is something that I do really like, that it's a genuine curiosity and love for what is available.
Exactly. We're not out there to find, it's demonic, it's this, it's that. We want to know the true stories. We want their memories to live on, and we want to
help them. Help them live on. Help them, like you said, share their memories is a big one.
Definitely.
Getting to know who that person was. What did they do? What was their job? What was their last memory that they remember? What are they wearing?
I mean, unfortunately, at the mausoleum, you have seen a couple of horrible visions.
I have seen horrible visions.
So it does happen, but we're out there for the good. We just want to see.
Well, and that's, the good is more of what comes out when you're out there for the good. Right. And because you do have that welcoming energy, and so you're going to get, and stories from energy. Thank you. Even though I'm late sometimes, Brian John's so patient with me. What a wonderful man.
That's just a man thing.
Well, a little bit, right? Like you got to expect us to be fashionably late now and then. We're gonna. I mean, come on, it happens. No, but I do really. I think that you get more engagement, and again, obviously, it's something that you're meant to be engaging or communicating with because the place that you work. Mistakes don't happen, right? The universe is perfect.
Yeah.
And so that is something that is really interesting to me, though. Just going back to the 1111 portal that your dad and husband that maybe there is something that it's exciting to think, what's that big thing that I'm supposed to do that I'm
and it's little things like at work we've got a screen messenger, so it's not for work. It's like, do you want a cup of tea, or we're going to lunch now? And if we send each other a message, you'll accidentally look and it's 11:11.
You won't
on the
even
time.
plan it.
You'll planned it.
Your screen message.
It's just
at that point.
11:11,
and then you then realise. I'll go into you and you'll be like, "Did you realise what time you sent that?" Oh no, it's 11:11. And it's like, oh, for God's sake! Like,
of course it is, but it's. I really love it because it's nice to have the confirmations of sort of the consistency that is available.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that those things, because in the paranormal investigation world, that is something that maybe not everyone has up till now, but I think people are now starting to recognize as being in itself a confirmation sort of data set that, right? Like the more often you're seeing these things, you can't keep ignoring those synchronicities, right?
Yeah. And I think that's what happened when things first started happening. I had to learn very quickly what was the signs, and it's like a puzzle. And that's how I explain to people, because people say to me, I say, everyone's got the ability to do everything that we do. You just need to open yourself up to it and believe in it. And it's like a puzzle, piecing things together. And
I love that.
Yeah, it's just a giant puzzle. When you piece things, you have to find that next puzzle to know what that meant. And
then you have that eureka moment.
And then you're like, that now makes sense after 2 years.
Now it's like, now I know why.
Yeah, I love it. And I think it's just, as I call it, it's weird and wonderful. It's got to be weird and wonderful, and that's it.
It is weird and wonderful. And again, I mean, just how perfect that you end up working in a place where you have the ability to continuously practice this thing that you suddenly become more open to. And then, if you're open to it and you're cool with it, here's some more.
Yeah. Have this.
Yeah. Hey, you like that cake? Here's something else. Here you go.
And it's really good because if we plan to go out and it's raining, then we can always go up there.
We've always got a location
we can go to.
Always.
Really
that's so cool.
Yeah. I always message the boss and say, is it okay? Because I've got a set of keys, you see.
And we have to phone 111, which is our emergency service over here, just to let them know that there's somebody in the building. In case the neighbours go, someone's broken into the doctor's. We'll put signs.
We'd have the SWAT team coming through the window.
Most likely.
That would, I mean,
we just let them know.
That would be a super fun live show. I'm not going to lie. That would fly in America like nobody's business. We like that drama sauce over here. I know on that side of the pond, y'all are a lot more mature, and very chill. We're trying to get there.
Yeah, no, I think we are. No, we're not.
I think we're better suited over there.
We do belong. I think we do belong in America.
Come on over and hang out. I got some rivers I can bring you to. Let's do some investigations.
Definitely, we've literally since we've met Brian. Obviously, he's then introduced us all to you guys. So thank you so much, Brian. I know you're listening.
He's back there listening. He's hanging out.
And obviously, if we didn't get to meet you guys, we wouldn't then have a bucket list for America and Canada. So,
come hang out with us. We are all gonna have to go. Brian John's gonna have to do an investigation at his favorite church with us. We're just gonna all dive bomb him one day and be like, surprise! Your American and UK friends are here. Take us to church, bro. Don't care what plans you had for the day. They're gone.
Yeah, I was on the phone to him the other day, and I literally just said, "We're coming over.
We're coming over.
We're
coming over.
That's it.
We're coming to the church, and you just can't say no. Too bad."
Exactly. Yeah. I want to know where the hotspots are, because you hear about them, you see them live, so you then want to feel that energy yourself.
And the car graveyard,
and the bridge. You want to see
the screaming tunnel.
Want to feel what he feels, and obviously what you guys feel in America as well.
Now talk to me about that, though, because this is a thing that fascinates me a lot. The idea of trying to get a sense of like, is this energy that I am sensing? Like, how are you experiencing it? And how can we sort of like, is there a way that we can tune in and amplify in a way the dual experience that we're having, or the, you know, like shared experience? And can you draw in something bigger when you like all tap into that energy collectively?
I think with us lot though, because we laugh so much, it brings everything out.
Yeah.
And then we'll find we're all just off.
We'll go off in our own little
and then chats. And then something happens.
And it's like, excuse me, don't forget we're here. You're here to see me.
Yeah. You came here to hang out with us, actually.
Yeah. Literally, that's literally what we say. And it's like, oh, okay, sorry. And then we'll
like, hey, girl, ADHD, I know you're having fun and it's awesome, but pay attention to me.
We do. We spend so much time laughing, and sometimes you just think, is it a bit disrespectful? But it's not, because it really ramps it up, doesn't it?
It gives them energy.
Yeah,
because it takes a lot of energy for them,
and we're giving that to them through the laughter,
and feeding it to them. So,
well, I mean, laughter is like, it's such a love vibration frequency, right? Like it's so joyful. It's so much more powerful to communicate through than fear. So, you know, like you're giving them such, again, the energy that you have gives them so much more to work with, to communicate, and to really get through a clear story and clear information, right? Because fear really doesn't, and talk to me about this and your kind of perspective on it, but like fear can really corrupt the messages that any other energy or entity is trying to get to you.
Yeah. I think my most fear would have been the animal testing center. So you wasn't there. So it was me, Ben and Kian, two of the lads that come ghost hunting with us. So my fear that night, I didn't sleep for 3 days and I didn't sleep for 3 nights. I was on edge. I felt like something was coming for me. And it shut me down. Yeah. And all we did was stand in a building. That was it. Ben.
So, but I mean, do you feel like maybe you sort of, and I don't know that because again, you don't want to say like demon attachments or spirit attachments, but that when you are open to energies like that sometimes they will, like if you're not real good at finding your own center and you haven't practiced finding your own center, like they can kind of get in and get in your way and cause that.
Yeah, I believe that. So how I say like those demonic ones. So people say like the D word, I'll say the D word. I always say it could be a very severe peed off spirit that day. You know, we will have our bad days, and they're gonna play on that. They're gonna play on you. They're gonna, and that's what I felt that night, was that something made this humongous bang. And I was just looking down this dark corridor, and I think that fed into me, that fear set in, and that whatever it was gave me that fear, because I'm not like that. I don't jump easily, I don't scare easily.
And we did have something similar at the Haunted Antiques Museum. There's the Haunted Antiques Museum is up Coventry Way in sort of Middle England, and they've got lots of different antiques that have been donated to them. And we were on a spirit box. Have you ever heard of Fred and Rose West? They killed all the children over here. Not the Moors,
not the
Moors,
West, but they're West.
No, that I totally there's a deep dive on them from last podcast on the left that I remember listening to.
They have got a pot of the dirt from their garden. So anyway, didn't really think anything of it,
and I left my wine glass with my marble in there. And that's what we brought with us.
And we were on the spirit box a bit later on. And in the room we were going to sleep in. And this voice kept coming over. And there's a program called Appropriate Adult over here, which is about those guys. And Rose West, she was a bit of a bitch. And excuse the language, you could hear her going, oh, wankers, this, that, and the other. It was
her voice.
And through the spirit box, that is what we could hear.
Yeah.
And then the name Heather came up, which was one of the kids that had died.
Yeah.
And then we said, how did you die? And she said, Rose.
And it said ankle.
Honestly, we were off that I think,
and we didn't sleep in that.
We
room.
didn't sleep in that room in the
so
end.
that set our fear in. That even though she's not
Rose isn't dead,
she's alive.
Yeah.
So
that kind of energy, though, and that's an interesting thought, even in and of itself. That like. If she is alive and that energy is still there, was she susceptible to an energy that maybe played off of anything existing in her that amplified what she did? Right. And again, you don't want to say like a possession situation. People make their choices and you can choose the energy, right? But like she may have
4 of us there that felt that.
Right. Like there might have been an energy that like made what was already there in her worse.
Exactly.
But Heather, the one that we were talking to who has passed, was the one that was buried under the patio in the Guardian. So is that where that dirt came from?
Right.
We don't know. We can't say it definitely is or it isn't.
But it was just whoever it was, and we don't know who or what portrayed Rose that day. But they portrayed her a good
to a T,
and scared us.
Yeah.
You know, I done. One of the things though that like I think is maybe sort of a flipped paradigm of the fearful situation, right, is that when you do have such like light, loving, happy, joyful energy and you come to a situation like that, that maybe some of what attaches to you in a certain sense is like energy that really just needs to be transmuted, right? Maybe it is just a really pissed off spirit or a really damaged spirit, you know, like someone who had a really abusive situation, you know, because you think of like a lot of those people who become abusers or you know, traditionally in human history, right? Like they were also abused, right? So like whatever that energy is could just need some transmuting, and like your ability to be in that happier, joyful energy like allows it to sort of
allows them to feed and be more creative of what they're wanting to give to
right, and like and release some of like the darkness of what it was, right? And so like sometimes that fear attaches to you for a short amount of time, but because you can find your center in some ways, you're helping to sort of like clear that energy or transmute it into something better.
I think that's how I was feeling at the animal testing center. No, it's the old animal testing center. They kept goats there, and we went into the building where the goats were kept. And I think that's what it was like I ran like straight into a prickle bush. The lads had to peel me off of that. It's pitch black. We're opposite a naval base as well, which has got police everywhere.
They were where they shouldn't have been, put it that way.
They were where they shouldn't have been. Listen, let me tell you what, I'm going to give you a high five for that one. Every now and then you got to be a troublemaker and be where you're not supposed to be. There was a hole in the
fence and it did not say not enter. So we entered.
There was not a sign that said don't go through this hole.
Exactly.
So we all did it again the next week.
So 12 of us went back the week after.
That's my kind of crew right there. Kudos to you.
I had to figure out what it was, and we just don't know what it was.
No, we still don't know.
You can hear the glass that like it's just abandoned buildings now, because it was an ex-diving center after the animal testing center.
But it was the crunch.
You have to
the crunch of the glass.
So you know when someone steps on glass, that sort of crunch.
Yeah.
You would hear 2 or 3 steps
come
and that's
towards you, and that's it.
Then nothing.
And then something's just watching.
And then the bang would
horrendous bangs.
And you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be some really intense energy there, though, because you imagine the animal testing was not a good, obviously.
No.
And I think that's why when we entered the building where the goats were kept, Ben just literally started drawing on a dirty wall. I won't tell you what he was drawing, but what he finished drawing could have created that energy because of... Well, actually, do you know what? I am going to tell you. He drew a swastika, the Nazi sticker.
Yeah.
And it's right next to Fort Gilkicker, and it was heavily bombed in World War II.
Sure. Okay.
So
bit of a provocation maybe to those who...
we don't know. It was just, as soon as he drew the last line of it, and I'm looking down this dark corridor, and I can just see the cage doors open, like 1 or 2 open, and then this boom happened. Ben up in front of my face, what the F was that? I'm like, run! So
Get out! Well, but if there was a lot of bombing there, it could be like a remnant of that sort of, sound or that vibration.
Yeah. I mean, we do have to go careful because even at the mausoleum, we can hear the containers being moved at the docks, which are about 5 miles away.
Yeah.
So even then, we're like, oh, is that a container, or is that a boat? Or, you know,
because you're right by the water here, and where the ships are going in and out of. So you do have to be careful with that. But we always know the sound of those.
We're used to that now.
And we're right next to Victoria Country Park, which a lot of people let fireworks off in. So we know those sounds to debunk.
Right. Well, to distinguish, right, what you usually hear. Yeah. I mean, but now in general, though, and this is something that we've talked about before, the idea of water being a sort of conductive energy, you know, and that maybe because, you know, of your location and, you know, sort of the climate and proximity to water, that there's more activity that can sort of flow, or energy that, right, like, again, sort of the idea of a liminal space, right? Or a place where like there's transient energy. And so like the paranormal, or, you know, whatever dimension, right? Like is a bit more fluid where you are because of all that water.
You had the other one as well. I wasn't there. The Mary Rose.
Oh, the Mary Rose. Now we were surrounded by water that day.
Yeah.
So we're
Henry VIII's
one of his ships,
Mary Rose.
Okay.
So that's sunk, and they now have it. That one sunk, didn't it?
Yeah,
that one did sunk. Yes, that's in Portsmouth. It's got like ruins of it in a big museum. We're surrounded by water, so we're down in Fareham, really, but you're facing Portsmouth, so you can see the Spinnaker Tower, which is a landmark for Portsmouth. And we had the necrophonic on, and we had it in flight mode. Now,
tell me about the necrophonic, though, because I don't think that one is one that I see as frequently.
Oh, okay. So the necrophonic. So it is a paid app. It is on your phones. So it will come up like this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a creepy voice when it speaks.
Love it.
So you can have
it in the right vibe, right? It wants to get you in the mood for what you're doing. I appreciate.
Yeah, you can change the sweep rate. You can change it to white noise, echo, or a reverb. But it literally is just channeling random words into that. It's like the spirit box, really.
Right, but is it just an alternative method of communication?
In your phone. So I always use it in flight mode. You can get gibberish out of there. And we've had
cool beans
come out.
Oh, fun.
And we asked it to repeat it, and it did.
Yeah. Which was
well, you are cool beans, so they should.
Yeah.
It sort of did a laugh and went, cool beans.
Whatever. Okay, you guys think you're so great.
Yeah, and that was at the doctor's
yes, we do.
Where we work.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, like, hey, come on, you better be nice. I work here. You're going to see me all the time, people.
Exactly.
And I think the same night it did also say Ben should die.
Yes, which is one of the lads that works with us, and he drives a motorbike. So I'm always like, be careful. Yeah. Let me know when you get home.
Right? Like angels on the tires, please.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, let's have a little bit of assistance if we could.
So necrophonic is something that we can use. I will sometimes use it in the Gansfield, but I'll use it in the Gansfield opposite somebody doing the actual Gansfield with the spirit box.
Yeah.
So I have two of them going at the same time, and seeing what they come out with.
But that is something that, again, you know, so much appreciation for the scientific method that does go into it, because you are doing, you know, comparative data when you're doing these things, right? Mm-hmm. And go ahead, because that's something that I do appreciate.
When we did Global Ghost Hunt last time, we were at the old asylum cemetery.
Yeah,
and the necrophonic. Sorry, the dog's deciding to.
No, that's all right. What's up, Pepper?
He can't decide what he wants. And obviously, it was the old mental asylum. And Rosie went on the Gansfield, and then all of a sudden, it went effing pill poppers.
All I could hear, and this was the necrophonic. This was the Gansfield.
Oh, Gansfield.
It was the spirit box. Sorry,
and it said effing.
It kept saying effing pill poppers, but obviously it's saying the F word.
Yeah,
right.
And it just felt like a person was just calling somebody else a pill popper,
which they were.
They were in a place where they would have been medicated with a lot of medication, to calm them down. They're in a mental asylum, so
right.
and this burial place is 5,000 and something.
I don't know where they all are.
I mean, the first thought that I have is like disgruntled, like orderly person who's like tired of dealing with all of the different people, you know, and understaffed, you know, hospital situation and too many patients.
Or when they're throwing it at them through the hatch, sort of when they're queuing up for it, sort of.
Well, you worked there.
I know I worked there,
She worked in the asylum bit. In the pharmacy.
Not for long.
You trained there, didn't you?
Oh, wow. I mean, so
that location.
Well, but I mean, again, even that is interesting, just that you sort of have an energetic attachment or an energetic familiarity with the space that might make it easier for any energies that are there to communicate with you just based on that.
And because I do work in pharmacy, so maybe the pill popper
maybe they were talking to you, maybe I didn't know who they're talking to. It was just literally you effing pill popper.
I never thought of it
so
that
maybe
way.
You're the pill popper because you're feeding them
feeding the pills
the pills maybe
never thought of it that way.
No.
I mean, but it's interesting, right? Like I just, and it's like you say, it's the puzzle piece thing, right? Like that is. And that's, again, why it's so great that you can get people together in teams and in this kind of global ghost hunt and the live because you can get these different perspectives from other people who are on your same level, right? Who are like, yes, I'm in it. I'm in the believing what we're looking for. Like, let me give you my perspective. And it does kind of help you to, again, kind of, it's that practicing your own intuition, right?
It does, because when we were at the mausoleum, I'm sure it was Abyss Paranormal. We were doing live and we were asking some questions, and then they threw some different questions to us to ask.
And they'd never been there.
And they were just picking it up from what they were watching and seeing and hearing. And what they got us to ask, it was so on the ball, and it was completing part of that story for us as well. So,
which is a story which we get there when we're there
every time.
So,
but without Global Ghost Hunt, we wouldn't been able to piece all of that together. We wouldn't have thought of what they said. So
Global Ghost Hunt really does bring people together, and like yourself has just helped us piece potentially a little puzzle that we had.
I love it, but again, and that's the fun part of it, right? Like that you're putting a puzzle together with your friends of like, what is the true story of this space? And the really great thing of that connectivity globally, or the thing that I think is really fun, is kind of the idea of being able to tune into different places, right? So like tuning me, for example, trying to tune in energetically to where you are, or to like Brian's church, right? Before you would go there and visit, but then also seeing how different, people from different cultures or parts of the world, how your energy when you come into a space might affect what appears in the space.
No, definitely. It's just how we work and how other people work, and what you see on TV, and you see these other people out there that they want to find that D word, the demonic side, and that's all for them. They want to do that. They do that.
It gets the ratings. They get it right.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Literally good luck. But what the spirits have to give us is a sense of paranormal in history. Now I'm going to use those words, Scott, if you're watching. Paranormal in history is from Scotland. It literally goes hand in hand with each other, and those spirits give us so much from what they had on that time.
What happened?
People say, it's always a Victorian person, but then I'm like, well, I can get somebody come to me and they're like died a few weeks back. So it's not always.
Well, and I think some of it is, there's a certain kind of shtick to the mainstream paranormal investigative like media that you see. And I do think that there is an audience that's a lot more thirsty now for the kind of things that you're seeing on Parapost Network and with like the things, the investigative styles that you have, right? I do think that people are fatigued and tired of the looking for the fear and the looking for the dark in it. I really think there is I think people are waiting to find more of this kind of content where you are openly and again, in a fun way, communicating with what's available, because you're looking for those stories. And we as humans are so drawn to stories, right? Like that's such a big part of who, like what are we if not our story? And if you have these other parallel dimensions of spirits that are trying to just speak their story because they couldn't in their own timeline. You know, that's again, what an exciting thing to do, to help a spirit tell their story when they couldn't in their own time.
Exactly.
Whatever that time was.
100%.
And there's one way how we help people. It's like when we go to Fort Widley, which is underground tunnels at Portsmouth. So they're the old war tunnels, and there's a lot of tunnels connect to
Brian's
each other.
been there as
Brian's
well.
been there.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that in our previous. Yeah,
it's a brilliant location, and you've got the sister fort, Fort Purbrook, just down the road, and then you've then got Fort Gilkick, which you can't get into. Might have been into there already. One of those
you can't get into unless you're awesome.
Yeah.
Got it.
And those locations is when we go in there, what we're offering is, you know, these equipments, they don't know what this is. To us, 2024 is a mobile phone. They don't know what these are.
Yeah.
You're communicating with spirits that are from the war times. So you go down there with old bullet cases.
Yeah.
It's what they recognize. Tobacco, a tea bag, chocolate, something that they would have been recognizing back then. Would you like a fag? Would you like a cigarette?
Yeah.
That's when you're going to get, that's when you hear the heavy boots.
Yeah.
The boots will start walking towards you. And then the cat ball will go off in the doorway. So they've
because
just
you're familiar now. You're recognizable.
You're offering something. You know, and we take old coins with us.
We do.
I have a lot of old coins.
Yeah.
That I'll take relevant, and old magazines.
Yes.
We collect old magazines.
That's
through
so
the
cool.
wartime. So we take with us, so they recognize those magazines.
Well, that's I mean, and those things that you have are going to have the energy of that time because they're from them, right? So it does help them to sort of, attach to it, or you know, it's almost kind of like a portal energy in and of itself, right? That like, here are these things of your time that might help attract you to where we're trying to communicate with you. You know, like sort of building a bridge in a sense.
That's a perfect way to explain. I like that. Thank you. It's our kit box is you know, the old not the old, they're really tall makeup boxes.
Really tall.
Oh,
it's filled.
Oh, is that childhood for me? Oh, I love that so much.
It's like the size of me, and that's not tall, but it's 5 foot. And we've then
me too. Oh, hey, shorties unite! What's up, Brian John? You're gonna be inundated by a bunch of short little witches at that church sauce of yours one of these days. And I tell you what, you better be ready for the silliness that's gonna happen. It's gonna be so much energy. We're gonna have so many communications going. Let me tell you, the cat balls, they won't be able to keep up.
Nope.
We'll be raving.
It'll be a rave. We're gonna have a rave in Brian's church, and then have the best party time. And he's and then in IKEA. Yes, we are. Oh, Brian John, you better be ready for the silliness. You don't even look what you've started. You're gonna love it. Don't worry. We're gonna have some fabulous snacks. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Brian John's back there like, oh Lord, what have I just got myself into?
What have I signed up for?
What have I been voluntold I'm going to do? Don't worry about it. It's going to be the best time of your life.
Yeah.
Because that's how we do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. It's so fun. Listen, I don't want to keep y'all forever because I absolutely would and I could. And we got to have you back because, oh my Lord. I can't believe, Brian John, that, listen, I'm telling you right now, Raymond, if he's not here, there he is. Raymond, you better start keeping up on me for the time zone sauce. Like, get up in that 5D stuff and be my babysitter for just a hot minute. Like, no, I'm serious. Brian John, start tapping Raymond and being like, Raymond, she ain't answering her phone. Get over there and mess with her hair and be like, hey, bitch, you got some stuff to do.
Yeah.
Got it. Right. Yes. Okay. No, listen, y'all really do have I love your fun energy. I love the way you guys do your investigations. I'm so glad you're part of the Global Ghost Hunt. And again, I really do think that some of what you guys do exemplifies exactly what, Parapost Network and the Global Ghost Hunt is all about. Like, there's so much fun to be had. There's so many stories to be found.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it really is it's an enriching experience, right? Yeah. It really is. Yes. Because practicing that intuition, opening yourself to those things, I think it also opens you up to like meeting some really awesome people and creating some really great connections.
Definitely.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Living and in the past.
Yes.
Like 100%
right?
is living in past. You will meet the best people in the world.
Like, you'll make the best friends. I mean, come on. Yeah. Who doesn't want to be hanging out with Emma and Rosie at the IKEA and talking to whatever ghosts might decide they just were like, you know what? I'm not going to haunt that place down the road today. I'm going to come hang out at IKEA, and we're going to be like, yeah, that's where the party is. Rave sauce time.
Yeah. Hope y'all brought get your flat packs.
Like, you better have a disco ball somewhere, peeps. I'm telling you.
Yeah. There'll be two.
There'll be two.
There'll be two.
Yeah.
And cat balls as far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
And on those yellow arrows.
On the yellow arrows going around.
Yes. Oh, that would be so fun. Oh, YouTube doesn't even know what it's in for.
No.
It has no idea.
It doesn't know what's in store.
IKEA, sponsor us at Global Ghost Hunt.
We'll ask.
You'll ask, and it'll be somebody who's like, man, I just work here. I don't know what you're doing. Like, who are you people? What are you doing?
Do you know what? I do love people's faces when they say, like, we work in the NHS by day, so in the doctor's surgery, and then we help the living through the night, and then the dead.
But I love that.
Yeah, when you tell that to people, they're like, what? I'm like, we talk to the other world, and they're like,
we help people on both sides of this human experience because that's what we do.
Yes, you're never alone. No one's never alone.
You're never alone. And sometimes it's fun, and sometimes it's a little weird when you're like, all right, y'all, I am in the bathroom. Hi, little friend in the bathroom.
The bathroom and bedrooms. No, the same space.
Right? Creating a little bit of a buffer zone, people. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I so appreciate you ladies staying later. And I so appreciate y'all being patient with me. And I had to listen, it was going to happen sometime, and it may as well happen with, you know what? That's what it is. I was going to make up time zones at some
in the morning. It's all right. It's a Friday night. It's fine. It's not a school night.
It's not a school night. Listen. You go ahead and have a celebration of life again. And let me tell you what, tell your friends on the other side that they are welcome to help Raymond in keeping me in line on my time zone. Because if it's from funny people like you, I want whatever silly fun your friends are going to start up for me to keep me in line. Because let me tell you, they're going to find ways to give me a laugh and do it. And that's what I'm looking for. That's exactly the energy I love in this multiverse. Yeah. Emma and Rosie of the Ghoul Gang, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited.
Thank you.
We're so excited to have you on Global Ghost Hunt. Y'all, don't forget to go to globalghosthunt.com. Check it out. We've still got spaces you can go and sign up. Do your own investigation. We got October 17th through the 27th. And check out healthempowersyou.net, because I know Brian John probably mentioned it up top, but y'all go check them out. They're our sponsors. If you want to support more awesome content from beautiful humans like Emma and Rosie, then please check out our sponsor at healthempowersyou.net. And y'all, thank you so much for joining us. You've been great.
Thank you.
Big love to you across the pond.
Thank you.